Welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support for when the divorce process has finished. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics related to post-divorce. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of life after divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hello and welcome back to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. And basically, we're looking here to navigate life's transitions after the dust settles. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's question is one that many people ask. Do I still need my attorney after the divorce is finalized? And the simple answer really, and you hear this all the time, it depends. Now, while the immediate legal battles of the divorce might be over, there are still situations where your attorney's expertise can be invaluable. So let's explore some scenarios where post-divorce legal guidance might be beneficial. And one is enforcing the settlement agreement. If your ex-spouse violates any terms of the settlement agreement, such as missed child support payments or failure to divide assets as agreed, your attorney can help enforce the agreement through legal action. And then you got, just changes in circumstances. I mean, as life changes, you might have to make some adjustments. If you have a significant change in income, a child's needs, or your living situation, you might need to revisit child support or custody arrangements. Your attorney can guide you through the modification process. Now, there could also be some post-decree issues. So retirement accounts and beneficiaries, for example, updating beneficiaries on retirement accounts after divorce is pretty important. So your attorney can ensure that your ex-spouse is no longer listed as the beneficiary if that aligns with your settlement agreement. And then you got these tax implications. Divorce can have complex tax consequences if you're not careful. So consulting with your attorney about potential tax implications and ensuring you file your taxes correctly can save you headaches down the road. You could also use an accountant or a tax professional in this situation as well when it comes to taxes. We also have some unexpected situations that could occur. I mean, if you or your ex-spouse inherits assets after the divorce, your attorney can advise on how this might impact the existing settlement. Or the discovery of hidden assets. If you discover hidden assets after the final decree, your attorney can help you pursue legal action to acquire your rightful share. Now, there are alternatives to retaining your attorney. One is just limited scope representation. You might not need full legal representation for every issue. Consider consulting with your attorney on specific concerns and hiring them for a limited scope of work. And then there's also mediation. If you and your ex-spouse need to modify aspects of your settlement without resorting to court, mediation might be a more cost-effective option. Even without your attorney actively involved, maintaining clear and documented communication with your ex-spouse is actually pretty critical. And this is going to help minimize misunderstandings and can prevent the need for legal intervention down the line. And while the final decree marks a significant milestone, navigating life after divorce can still present some challenges. So consulting with your attorney can provide you the peace of mind and ensure your rights are protected in the event of unforeseen circumstances. I want to thank you for joining me on this episode of A New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or add them to the comments and I'll get to you. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Until next time, take care. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's topic tackles an essential resource, and that's finding and utilizing a therapist after your divorce. So divorce can leave a significant emotional toll on anyone. Whether you're grappling with grief, anger, or anxiety, seeking professional support can be immensely beneficial. Let's explore some strategies to find a therapist who can empower you on your path to healing. So first, we want to identify your needs. What are those areas you want to address? Reflect on the specific challenges you're facing. Are you struggling with co-parenting issues, communication difficulties, or personal growth? And then there's the therapy style. So you're going to want to consider different therapy approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy or psychodynamic therapy. Research them to find a style that really resonates with you. Now, finding a qualified therapist, is going to take a little time. You want to maybe check through your insurance coverage. Check, your insurance company is going to really tell you if they cover therapy sessions and what your out-of-pocket costs might be. We got some online resources. There's directories like Psychology Today or your state's professional licensing board website to find therapists in your area. And then we're going to want to ask the right questions. So we want to inquire about their experience working with clients who are divorced or going through a divorce. This is quite pertinent to what you have going on in your life. So you would want somebody who's able to relate. And then you want to discuss their therapeutic approach and how they plan to help you achieve your goals. Because every therapist is different. They're going to have a different approach, a different way of doing things. You definitely want to have a clear understanding of what those are. And then lastly here, we got fees and payment options. Really understanding how their fees and whether they offer a sliding scale based on income or whether or not they even take insurance. Some therapists might not take insurance. So when we reach out to a therapist and making the first kind of initial move here, might be a phone consultation. So most therapists offer a free phone consultation to discuss your needs and see if, they're a good fit. It's got to start somewhere, and the first conversation is where it is. And then you got first impressions. So pay attention to your initial impression. Do you feel comfortable and heard during the consultation? So everything needs to fit for you as an individual, and it's okay if you don't particularly care for, the therapist you're interviewing. There are more out there that you will then be able to interview as well. So when it comes down to the therapy sessions themselves, you got to be an active participant in your own session. Be open and honest during these sessions. Therapy is a collaborative process, and your active participation is really critical for success. Might be some homework and exercises. Therapists often offer exercises or homework to enhance the benefits of therapy. And then finding the right fit. If you don't feel comfortable after a few sessions, don't hesitate to seek a different therapist. You're not required to stay with the therapist that you start with. Now, we got to understand that we're really striving for what are the benefits of the therapy. Maybe it's coping strategies. Therapy can equip you with healthy coping mechanisms to manage difficult emotions and navigate challenges. There could be improved relationships. Therapy can help develop better communication skills and improve relationships with your ex-spouse and children. And then there's personal growth. Therapy can really help promote self-awareness and personal growth, empowering you to move forward with confidence. So really, in conclusion, seeking therapy after divorce demonstrates strength and a commitment to your well-being. By taking these steps, you can find a therapist who supports you in navigating your emotions and build a brighter future. Remember, healing does take time, and you don't have to go through this journey alone. Thanks for joining us on this episode of A New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out or drop me a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Have yourself a great day. Hi, and welcome back to Breaking Ties, A New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's question really, hits parents close to home. And that is, how long will it take for my kids to adjust after the divorce is final? And the truth is, there's no one size fits all answer. We all know every child adjusts at their own pace. However, really, there are some factors that can influence how long it does take. And we're going to start with, kind of like just the age and development stage of your children. Younger children often adjust faster on the surface. They might adapt to new routines quickly, but their emotional processing might take longer. Whereas teenagers or typically more emotional volatile, and they might experience some anger, sadness, or confusion. And the adjustment can be more complex as they process. The other piece to look at is really the quality of the pre-divorce relationship. I mean, high conflict environments, if before you get divorced, the environment was filled with conflict, it's going to take longer for children to feel secure in the new normal. Or there's, supportive relationships. So children with strong relationships with both parents pre-divorce tend to adjust more readily. And then we got the quality of now the after divorce relationship. And, if the parental conflict continues, it's going to significantly hinder the children's adjustment. And we also need to look at the co-parenting collaboration. I mean, when both parents prioritize working together and maintaining a positive co-parenting relationship, children feel more secure and adjust faster. Now, having a strong support system of extended family, friends, and therapists can provide children with a safe space to express their emotions and navigate the changes as well. So you might want to look into these areas, because when it comes down to, say, a therapist, they might have coping mechanisms they can share or ways for the kids to process things. And, the main focus really should be on open communication and encouraging that open communication, creating a safe space for, your kids to express their feelings, I think will help you and help them process the divorce more quickly. Making sure that, they're using those coping mechanisms that they get from a therapist, things like exercise, creative outlets, or mindfulness, it can all make a big difference. Now, there are some signs that your child might need a little more support. Let's say they have a change in behavior. If we have a drastic change in behavior, like, say, withdrawal or anxiety, aggression, or academic struggles, we might need some assistance with a professional therapist. Or they're having difficulties with emotions. If they're overwhelmed, struggle to express themselves, then we also might want to consider seeking professional help. So there's no magic timeline for children to adjust after the divorce. We want to be patient, understanding, and offer them unwavering love and support. Thanks for joining me on this episode of A New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions on today's topic, feel free to reach out or drop a comment. Divorce is not the end of your story. It is the start of your next great chapter. Have a great day. Welcome back to another episode of Breaking Ties, A New You After Divorce. And I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. Today, we're going to get into a topic that really is kind of close to many listeners' hearts, and that's thriving as a single parent after the final decree. Now, divorce, really can leave you feeling overwhelmed by new responsibilities. But remember, you're not alone. Here are some strategies really to help you embrace your strength and build a fulfilling life for yourself and your kids. And we're going to start with prioritizing self-care. I mean, your emotional well-being is quite important, and divorce takes an emotional toll. So making time for activities that bring you joy, whether it's exercise, time with friends, hobbies, are all beneficial. Now, there's also your physical health in addition to your emotional health. So taking care of your physical health is critical. I mean, really maintain a healthy diet, get enough sleep, and schedule regular checkups. A healthy you is a better parent as well. Then we got the support system. I mean, we really want a strong support system and we want to lean on it. Don't be afraid to rely on family and friends to help with childcare, errands, or just a listening ear. There's support groups as well. Connecting with other single parents can provide invaluable advice and a sense of community. Now, just like kids, we actually, could use a little routine in our lives as well to help create stability. And it's going to, really work on establishing consistent schedules. Children thrive on predictability. Develop routines for meals, bedtimes, and schoolwork to provide a sense of stability for them. And then we can maintain traditions, continue cherished family traditions, even if they need to be modified slightly. And that will offer a sense of continuity and comfort. So we got to have open communication with our kids as well, and it's age appropriate conversations, and also answer their questions honestly. We want to be open and honest while reassuring them that both parents, love them very much. There's also some co-parenting collaboration if you have kids. You want to be respectful with the communication, and have a civil relationship with your ex-spouse, really, if nothing more than for the sake of your kids. And you want to focus on shared goals, work together to create a consistent parenting plan that prioritizes your children's well-being. And then we're going to want to embrace the joys of single parenting. Quality time. Single parenting allows you to spend extra one-on-one time with your kids. Take advantage of it. It's going to have a unique bond for you. And then independence and growth. Single parents allows for personal growth and independence. You can discover new strengths and redefine your role as a parent. And there's seeking professional help when needed. When you look at therapy for your kids, if your child is struggling to adjust or difficulties arise, consider family therapy or individual counseling. And then there's also financial planning. So if you consult with a financial advisor to create a budget, explore options for managing finances as a single parent, you can get some peace of mind, take it off your plate, if you will. So single parenting is a journey with its own set of challenges and rewards. Prioritizing your self-care, building a strong support system, and focusing on open communication with your children are pillars for success. Remember, you're not alone. Embrace the strengths you possess and the unique bond you share with your kids. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. Should you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section, or let me know and reach out to me by email or phone. Divorce is not the end of your story. As we know, it is the start of your next great chapter. Have yourself a great week. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Ties, a New You After Divorce. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And today's topic is going to tackle the big question many face after the final decree. What now? Divorce, while a legal conclusion, really marks the beginning of a new chapter. It's time for reflection, maybe healing, and even some self-discovery. So let's explore some strategies to navigate this transition and build a life that you're going to love. And it's going to start with prioritizing your well-being, emotional recovery, acknowledging your emotions. These things take time, and you're going to want to also take time to grieve the loss of your marriage, and then prioritize activities that bring you joy and a sense of peace. And this could be exercise, spending time with loved ones, or pursuing hobbies. And then we got your physical health. Taking care of yourself physically is just as important. You got to eat healthy, get enough sleep, and establish healthy routines. When it comes to kind of rebuilding our identity, we want to explore your interests, rediscover activities you might have neglected during your marriage. Take a class, volunteer, or travel somewhere you've always wanted to go. And then reconnect with friends and family, strengthen those bonds with loved ones who offer support and a sense of belonging. Then don't forget to look at the financial independence of things. We want to review our finances, take a deep dive into the finances, and that includes budgeting, debt management, and retirement planning. So you may want to consider consulting a financial advisor for guidance on these areas, and they're going to be able to help you break that down and understand what you have going on and help you figure out how to get to where you're going. And, there could be ways to increase your income or create a budget that aligns with your new reality. So knowing the numbers really does make a difference. And then when you're ready, we look at dating. Some people are ready earlier than others. Take your time, though. There is no rush to jump back into dating. Focus on healing and self-discovery before introducing someone new into your life. And then you got to redefine your relationships. So dating after divorce can be different. Define what you're looking for in a relationship and set clear boundaries. Now, if we have kids, then there's going to be some co-parenting and collaboration going on after the divorce is final, and it's going to take communicating. Maintaining an open and respectful communication with your ex-spouse for the sake of your kids will make a big difference. Not to mention developing a co-parenting plan. Work together to create a parenting plan that outlines roles, responsibilities, and schedules for co-parenting effectively. And we want to embrace the future, have a positive outlook. I mean, divorce is a chance for a fresh start. Embrace the opportunity to rewrite your future and create a life that aligns with your value and aspirations. And that's going to bring up some, personal growth along with that. I mean, use this time for self-discovery, and that personal growth will follow. Reflect on your needs, desires, and goals for the future. So, the end of the marriage doesn't have to be the end of your happiness. We know this. Moving forward requires self-care, exploration, and embracing possibilities. And, really, this is a chance to build a life that truly reflects who you are and what matters to you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of A New You After Divorce, part of the Breaking Ties podcast. Should you have any questions, feel free to call or reach out. Divorce is not the end of your story. As you and I already know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, enjoy your week.